Hello and welcome to the Section 8.1 lecture today for Algebra 1 Part 1. We're going to start today by making sure that my pen's on the right screen. It didn't seem like it was. Okay, now we're good. Sometimes you just got to cycle it through them all. But today we're going to start looking into graphing. And today we're going to look at graphing given the slope and a point. So to start here, the key to graphing lines is to plot, I'm going to say at least 2 points and draw a straight line. So in tips for drawing a straight line, number one, I would say use some kind of a straight edge. You can use a ruler if you have one. You can use the edge of a book. You can even fold up a piece of paper several times with a really good edge, and that can work as a straight edge for you also. Um, for me, I get kind of picky about how we draw lines, so that's why I bring it up. And then a second kind of tip that I have is don't pick 2 points that are right next to each other. It's often hard, a really hard thing to do is to put a straight edge on 2 points that are very, very close to each other. So typically, if you can, pick points that are a little farther away. So here we want to graph a line with a slope of 2/3. And again, slope means rise over run. So we're going to use that idea. And through the point 1, 2. So the point 1, 2 is right here. And all I need to do is I need to go up 2 and over 3 for a rise of 2 and a run of 3. Up 2 and over 3, and I put another point. That is enough, but maybe I want 2 points that are a little farther away, right? So I could do up 2 and over 3 again. And a lot of times what I find myself doing is stepping out, I call it stepping out this slope. That's not right. Stepping out this slope as far as I can so I can pick 2 points that are a long ways away from each other. And it also helps me make a straight line when I have all these points laid out here. It's almost like a dotted line, and then I could almost even freehand a pretty decent line. You see that mine's not too good, but I think you could do better. And it's not too bad either. The one thing that I dislike seeing is I dislike seeing the student that puts a point there, plots their other point there, and says, there's your line. Okay, we want to know what happens outside the realm of these 2 points. So I want all lines. I'm going to put this right here. All lines need to go through the graph. So what do I mean by that? I want these lines coming out to the boundaries. Okay, I want them out there. I want to see what the low end looks like and the high end. I want to see everything that I can. Okay, and that's a pretty big rule for me. Okay. So we're going to continue that on these ones. I have a point at 3, -2, and a slope of 3. Slope of 3 means 3 over 1, so I rise 3 and run 1. For me, that means I'm going to go up 3 and over 1. Up 3 and over 1. Am I counting good? Yeah, so far. It looks a little bit off, but that's okay. I'm not believing this one. 1, 2, 3 over 1. Okay, it is. And I can go the opposite direction as well. And getting all those points just makes it easier to draw my line. Okay. Next one, I have a point at -2, 4. So that's right here. And a slope of -2, which means go down 2 and over 1. Okay, I can do it again. Maybe one more time. Sometimes to save time, I'm going to use a straight line tool. just to get that idea of a nice straight line, and I'm using everything I have at my disposal. Okay, and lines go through our graphs. Okay, and then our next one I have goes through the point -5, -3, and it has a slope of up 4 and over 7. That's going to bring us to right there. Okay. So just in the interest of time, I'm trying to do this a little bit quick so we don't have a super long video, because we have some other stuff to take care of also. But that's the main goal for today. Okay, let's get these ones done. At 2, -1, that point's right there. Slope of -2 means down 2 and over 1. Every whole number is always over 1. Okay, get my points a little bit farther apart. That also makes it easier for me to put a ruler on those points. That one's going to miss a little bit. Let's straighten that out just a little bit and drag it back to about there. Okay, next one, 0, -2. That's this point right here. And a slope of -1/4. That means negative means go down, 4 means go over 4. So for me, I'm either moving up or down, but I'm always moving to the right. And I draw my line through my graph, and I'm good to go. Okay. Next one, I've got a point at -6, 0. That's right here. And a slope of up 5 and over 2. So that gives me a point right there. I can also do it the other way, down 5 and left 2. And that's a pretty good line through those points. Okay. On the back side, we're talking about point slope form. It's an equation of a line, and it says that it's a non-vertical line that passes through a point x1, y1, and a slope of m. Where this comes from is it comes from putting variables into my slope formula, x2 minus x1. And then if I want to put my y's on one side, I can take this and actually multiply it by these x's. The trick with any equation of a line is it needs to have y and x as variables. Okay, so when I do this, these actually cancel out, and I'm going to kind of flip it around also. y2 minus y1 equals the slope times x2 minus x1. Oops, not that kind of a one. A little one. And then if I just consider my variables being my two locations, then we get our point slope form. I'm having a hard time with that one. Let's just try the whole thing again. X minus x1. Okay. And so we're always going to have x and y in this equation. The only difference is whatever point I have, x1, y1 is going to go into these two spots. Now the important thing that we notice here is that they have minus signs on them. And that's an important thing. And it goes through the point x1, y1, where x1 and y1 are written positively here, but they have minus signs here. So that really means whatever this equation shows, I have to pick on the opposites. Okay, so I need the opposite of -2 as my x coordinate. The opposite of -2 is +2. The opposite of -4 is +4. So this line goes through the point 2, 4, and it has a slope of 2, or 2 over 1. So it's going to go up 2 and over 1, up 2 and over 1. I can go the other way a couple times, get a better idea of where this line is. And it happens to be right here. On the next one, I'm looking at my x value first. That says positive 3. So I need the opposite of that, and we actually get negative 3. And the opposite of negative 3 is positive 3. So this goes through the point negative 3, positive 3, which is right here. And it has a slope of negative 1, which means go down 1 and right 1. Down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. So it goes through there. And that line's going to be right here. But notice how every time I'm putting that line all the way through the graph. Sure, I'm using a straight line tool. You could use a ruler. I can't really put a ruler on this tablet and have it work out really well. So I don't have that luxury. Next one, opposite of x plus 5 is going to be negative 5. Opposite of plus 4 is minus 4. So it goes through the point negative 5, negative 4, and it has a slope of 1/2. That means go up 1 and over 2. And that's probably enough. I can do a decent enough job at that to get my line going through my graph. Okay, so that's the idea with graphing using point slope form, but more importantly, I want us to be able to know that I have a line that goes through this point and it has this slope. Let's graph that line. Okay, that's an important skill to have. All right, make sure you get any questions down on the left and ask them in the assignment. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you in class.